All right, today we're going to go out and do a little tailwheel takeoff and landing practice. It's been a pretty rough winter. I haven't been able to get out here as much and get the tailwheel landings and takeoffs that I like to do, so I'm going to go out and do it today. And I'll talk about a little bit how I actually do these maneuvers here, just to help anybody out that's working on their tailwheel endorsement or just really got a little bit of rust on them for their tailwheel flying. All right, just going to come up here, line up on the center line. Get our feet on the rudder pedals. We're just smoothly bring power up. Firm engine performance is there. Engine gauge is green. Airspeed coming alive. I don't have to pull back in the sticks, just keep it in neutral. It gets to a level position. And then we just gently put a little bit of more back pressure on the stick and we're up in the air. A little trim forward. That was it. Great performance. 1,000 feet per minute climb rate. A lot of bird activity out there. Got to keep an eye on that. There were hundreds. Looks like a geese. Alrighty. Into pattern altitude here. We're going to our power back to about 2200 here. All right, what I like to do here is when I'm about mid-field, I'll put my carb heat on. There we go. Do my C-gumps here, carb heat on, gas is where I want it, undercarriage is down, mixture is rich, primer's in a lock, all switches are on, we're good to go. Being the number, I'll bring my power right back to about 1500 RPM. Okay, 1400 today because I'm pretty light. A little bit of back pressure in the stick, I'll put maybe a little bit of trim toward the back. Hold it till I get to about 70 miles per hour. Looking for a 45 to the numbers. A little bit more trim toward the rear. Here at 70 miles an hour in base. Okay, as I roll final, I know I have the runway made. I'll put that last notch of flaps in, and I'll pitch this plane down for about 60 miles per hour. Point, I'll turn my carb heat off so I have maximum power for a go around if I need it. So just managing my airspeed here. Again, 60 miles an hour is what I'm aiming for right now. At a descent rate of about 600 feet per minute. Probably will shallow it out a little bit, so I'm going to add a little bit more power in here to rest that descent rate. There's some birds. Coming again, as I said, 60 miles an hour. Get down over the center line, transition to level flight. And I'm just going to slowly bring my power back and just start to pull back gently on the yoke. I'll try to do a three-pointer, hold it back just, there it was. Pinning that tail. And I just let it roll. I'm not worried about putting on any brakes here quick. I'll retract my gear because I'm going to take off here in a second. Under control. Now I'll put some brake pressure very gently. I don't want the tail to come up on me. All right, carb heat's off. Gas, undercarriage mixture. Primer, switches on. Look on your traffic. Super Cub 816 Whiskey Romeo, departing runway 26, close traffic. All right, I'm going to have just the stick in the neutral position. Feet are on the rudder pedals. Gently bring the power up. Engine gauge is green. Airspeed's coming alive. Doing nothing here. The tail just comes up. Holding level flight. There we are. Start to gently pull back just a little bit on the stick. I'll climb out at 70 here. Don't need a really steep climb. I'm going to try another three-point landing. Basically, try to touch down with the mains and the tail wheel simultaneously. I think I almost had my tail wheel touch down first before the mains on that one. Felt like it. I'll have to take a look later. I'm bringing my power back to about 22 RPM, 2200 RPMs. Nice cruise flight, 1550 MSL, which is our 1,000 feet above ground. Want to get about halfway down the runway. The carb heat is turning on. There we go, carb heat is on. All right, bringing my power back to about 1500 RPM. Putting in my first notch of flaps. Plane slow down to 70. I'm looking for the numbers to be about my 45 behind my shoulder, which they are, so I'm going to start making my turn to base. A little bit high, so I'll take a little power out. Holding 70 through the turn. Definitely high, so what we'll do is we'll just put that last notch of flaps in here. Bring some power back. If I need to, I'll slip it, but I'm not too worried about it. Slowing down to about 60 miles per hour. And we'll do a forward slip here. We're going to right aileron, left rudder. And now we're going to start our descent rate about 1,000 feet per minute. All about 65 miles per hour. There's some more birds crossing. Keep an eye out for them. We're back on track. We'll now relieve the forward slip and we'll get ourselves back towards 60 miles per hour. Yes, I could go slower, but I like a little bit of speed here. Taking my time coming down, got over a mile of runway. Here we are, 60, 55. I can just hold it off, but I'm just going to slowly take the power out and just slowly pull back on the stick. Pulling, there it is. On those rudder pedals, just dancing with those rudder pedals, the stick is pulled back to my crotch here just to really pin that tail. I'm just working the rudder pedals, no brakes going on here until I get it really slowed down under control. There we go, now just gently touch the brakes. All right, we're going to do a takeoff this time where I apply one notch of flaps as part of the takeoff to help get us up quicker, like a short field takeoff. All right, carburetor is off. Gas is where I want it. Undercarriage is down, of course. Mixture is rich. Primer is locked. Switch is on. Laconia traffic. Super Cub 816 Whiskey Romeo departing runway 26. Close traffic, Laconia. All right. The neutral position. I just add the power. Once I get the tail starts to come up, I'll put that one notch of flaps in, and I'll be able to pull quicker and get myself climbing a much higher climb rate. They're at 60 miles per hour climbing. Clear of the obstacles. Nose is coming over, accelerating airspeed a little bit. One notch, or remove those flaps. And we'll continue to climb out at about 80, I guess. At about 300 feet below pattern altitude, you turn your left crosswind. Usually by the time you get to the top of crosswind and to make your turn down when you're at pattern altitude. Again, I think we're going to try another three-pointer. Car's back to about 1400 RPM. That first notch of flaps is in. Pitch for 70 miles per hour. Just allow myself to complete off some altitude here. There we are. The number's about 45. We're going to turn crosswind. I can see I'm a little bit high here, so I've taken more power out. I'm about 1300 RPM. I'm going to hold about 65 miles per hour just to kind of get myself down a little bit more. All right, as I turn final here, roll out, I'll put my carb heat off, put my last notch of flaps in. So carb heat's going off, last notch of flaps, and we're going to now pitch the plane for 60. I might have to take some power out because I am high. There's my 60. And a little bit high, I can take more power out, pitch for airspeed, power for altitude. I'm holding about 60, 62, about 1,000 RPMs. Car beats off. To arrest that descent rate so I don't come in playing hard, I'm going to add a little bit more power back in. Got about 1,200 or so. I get to transition to level flight. I'll slowly have a pitch up as I reduce some power, and we'll plan on landing on our tail. There we go. All right, this time just a normal takeoff. Full power. Stick is neutral. Tail's just going to come up on its own. Hold it level flight. There we go. Pull, 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 but not too hard, just very gently. The plane wants to pitch up anyways. We're about 65, 70 miles per hour in this climb out. Climbing at 1,200 feet per minute. I'm going to just let the nose come over just a little bit. Don't need to climb quite so high, so steep. All right, here we go. We're pattern altitude. The runway's about halfway up our struts, just like you would in a sky. Car beat's coming on. Power's come back to 1400, first notch of flaps, going to hold 70. Got multiple aircraft behind me, so I'm going to be a little bit quicker on this one. 70 miles an hour here on the descending portion of the downwind. All right, here we are, coming for a final. Carb heat is coming off. We're at 60. Time we'll do a wheeled landing where we land on the mains and we basically keep the tail off for a bit. This is something you want to do typically if you have more crosswind conditions, or you're just trying to protect the tail wheel as long as you can. If you had, say, a gravel area that you're landing on, yeah, a little bit, just a touch of power. We're keeping our tail wheel up, just rocking the rudder pedals. When we get no more rudder control, we'll just pin it. And we're looking out for a lot of traffic, a lot of planes flying around. There it is. All right, well, this gives us a chance to go out over the lake and take a look at what we got. All ice covered still, but it's thin. Bare as snow. Laconia traffic, SuperCub 816 Whiskey Romeo, turning a final runway 26, about 4 miles out over the lake. You can see we got a little bit of wind to the southwest here. You can see how I'm weather vane to the left here a little bit. It's not much, but. All right, carb heat's going to go off at this point. Gas is where I want. Undercarriage down, mixture's rich, primers locked, switches are all on. Still high, let's put that last notch of flaps and get this power out. And we're going to do a forward slip here. A little bit fast, not too much, bring it down to about 55. We level out here, level wings, we just kind of hold it off. And then as soon as it touches, we just a little bit forward on the stick, keeping it rudder up, walking the rudder pedals.
Downwind, runway 26, Laconia.
When it's slow enough, we'll just pin the tail, track the flaps. Then when we're slow enough, we'll put the brakes on. Carb heat's coming up. Power at about 1500 RPM. Holding the sight picture the same in the white arc, that one notch of flaps. Slowing the plane down to 70 miles per hour. And I just kind of pitch forward on the stick just a little bit to hold that 70. 1400 RPM, sold in 70 nicely. Laconia traffic, SuperCub 816 Whiskey Romeo, turning the left base, 26, stop and go, Laconia. As you make this turn, you really want to try to hold that airspeed where you said you want it. I want it at 70, so I'm just controlling my pitch to keep that 70. If I see them a little bit high still, I'll take a little bit more power out, go down about 1300 RPM. Keeping that 70, so I get a nice little sink rate going on. Not too severe, but enough. Turn final. All right, we're turning final. Gonna hold 70 through the turn here as well. Try to click close to it. All right, on final. Carb heat's coming off. Last notch of flaps. Taking a little bit of power out because again I'm high. This just got great performance today. The plane's light. Just me in it. Power's basically at idle. Just allow myself to have a steeper descent rate. Dropping about 800 feet per minute. Going about 65. Bringing some power back in to start to rest that descent so we don't have such a sink rate. Going to be a little bit of left aileron, right rudder here because we got a little bit of a crosswind. That's picking up here a little bit. Pretty significant. Right rudder. We're going to do a wheeled landing here, holding it off. As soon as it touches down, I'm just a touch on the forward on the stick, keeping the rudder pedals moving back and forth, keeping the tail up as long as I can so I have no more rudder authority. And when it sinks, I just kind of pull back and pin the tail. And I'm still working the rudder pedals. I'm staying on the center line. I'm not putting on any brakes. Now we're nice and slow. Just a gentle touch of the brakes. For normal takeoff here. Carb heat off. Gas is where I want it. Undercarriage down. Mixture is rich. Primer lock. Switches. Laconia traffic. SuperCub 816 Whiskey Romeo. Departing 26. Close traffic. Laconia. Smoothly bring power up. Stick is neutral. The tail will come up on its own. I'm just working the rudder pedals. We're in level flight. Here we are. 300 feet below pattern altitude. We're going to make our left crosswind. SuperCub 816 Whiskey Romeo. Doing a simulation out for runway 26. Stop and go, Laconia. All right. We've got 70 here. I've got myself trimmed. Best glide here. Lower. Kind of looking out here for the runway. I haven't put any flaps in yet. I want to make sure I have the runway made. Looks like I've got plenty of room for this runway, so I'm going to start putting the flaps in. No power, it's idle. Still give me 1,000 RPM. I'm high. Put that last notch in here to help. I'm going to be at 60 here. Laconia traffic, SuperCub 816 Whiskey Romeo, turning final, simulated out, runway 26, stop and go Laconia. Heartbeat's coming back off. Really high. I definitely can make this runway. So now let's forward slip it here. Try to keep 60. There we go, we're back on track. No power in, so I got to manage this thing nicely. Roll a little trim forward here. So just managing your energy here. Holding it off, holding it off, holding it off. We'll try to make a 3-pointer. Hold it back, stick it. Working those rudders. That's it. I wanted to go for about the 1,000-foot mark. Came a little short, but not too bad. Laconia traffic, SuperCub 816 Whiskey Romeo, departing 26, right turn out to the north, Laconia. All right, out here taking a look at the ice conditions. It's definitely looking greenish gray. Definitely sign of thin ice. All along the shorelines are opened up. Almost every shoreline is clear of ice in the first probably 50 to a couple hundred feet. But if I turn out over Lake Winnipesaukee in its entirety, it's just one complete wide sheet of ice. There's nothing out there toward the broads that suggest any openings yet. Okay, I can see some sheets of ice just starting to break up along the shoreline, some large sheets. Definitely in the cove areas, there's definitely darker looking ice where it's almost ready to start breaking up. Taking a look over here at Mount Washington, it's all covered in snow still. Backside of Moultonborough Neck, all iced in still. But I'm sure it's going to be going out here in the next week or two. Over our house, it's really breaking up. Lots of broken up ice. So one of the nice things about getting out here and practicing takeoff and landings, you really work on your stick and rudder skills. It's so important to keep those skills up. It doesn't matter if you're in the airlines or you're a flight instructor or just a private pilot. It's important to get out there regularly, get some takeoff and landings in on a regular basis so that you stay not just current but proficient. Controlling the aircraft is so critical, particularly at the stage of flight where you're either taking off or landing. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you get notified of my next video.